All right, it's April 13th, a Tuesday, here at the Haw River State Park. You're looking at the rear of the Summit Environmental Education Center they have here. Today we're going to walk the Piedmont Loop Trail, and it starts right here at this location behind the Environmental Center from where I'm located up there at the parking lot, back up that way. There's parking all along here, so I imagine you can get on it at different places along the way. It's also a birding trail for anybody that's into birding. This first part is concrete, so let's get started. As always, I'm going to walk along. We're not going to film a continuous route, but we'll cut in and out as we go as I find things of interest and things to talk about. This first part's got a little bridge to walk over. Little gully down there. I imagine that floods real good when it's raining hard. The first part of this trail goes through some of their buildings and cabins. So we'll go through here and I'll pick up the trail on the other side. So we made a right up there after we crossed the bridge and came down toward the lake. The lake's over on to my right there. So they have some canoes and things off in the distance. I turn back to the left, you can see their buildings there. I think there's some cabins, maybe some more educational centers, I'm not sure. And I don't think you can see it, but over to the left they had a little amphitheater where they could do some courses. Anyway, you come across that bridge, like I said, and you turn right at that building that looks like dormitories almost. I'm not sure exactly what it is. And you just follow the trail on around. It's got blue and red blazes. So you got the Piedmont Loop Trail, and I think there's just a little lake trail you can do as well. And then I think as we go around the corner, there's going to be a wetlands area with a boardwalk. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't really looked too much into their trails. I just came here and got my All Trails app out and saw the trails and came on down. So we're going to learn about this trail together. This is my first time to the Haw River State Park. It's one of the newest parks in the North Carolina park system. I believe it was developed in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. So got a little sign that says turn right here for the lake, just in case you didn't see the lake. And I'm assuming that little gravel road is a lake trail around it, maybe. Not sure. Yeah, I see it now. So the Loop Lake Trail looks like it's going to be a red blaze. You'll see it on that tree. A little diamond, red diamond nailed to it. And then there's a blue diamond on what I believe is the Piedmont Loop Trail. I believe it's 2-point-something miles. Not exactly sure. Like I said, I just glanced at that. I mean, the trail's pretty easy to find. So far, I'm loving it. There's not many people here. The weather's cool today. It's supposed to get up a little warmer, but it's nice and cool. It's around noon. So I think this is going to be a great hike. I came across this little split in the trail. It says Lodge back to the left. The Piedmont Loop Trail is to my right, and the river overlook, which I believe is that wetland trail, is also to my right. There's a little trail that also goes straight, not very well worn. There's a sign saying trail. That's the direction we came from right there. And then the one that says Lodge looks like it's just maybe an old version of the trail. I want to go up here and see what this says up here. They got these stumps cut out, so maybe they can have little courses down here. And it just says number 10 on it, so I don't know what that means, but I can imagine maybe an instructor and everybody sitting around these logs talking about what they've learned. Like that tree right there. I always like to bark on those trees, but everybody likes to carve their names and initials in it. All right, let's go on down. Let's see if we can get down there to them wetlands. So as we walk in the bottomland here, you can see that it's a little wet and muddy. As always, after a rain in the bottomlands of any area, whether it's a creek or low line area. So just got to go around them. See another sign up there, so we'll go up there and check that out. Look at this vine hanging off this old tree, got it leaning there. You can see the vines like that over there on the other side too. When I was younger, behind my house, we had a creek running through it, and me and my buddy, we'd cut those vines and swing across the creek. Sometimes it's a good idea, other times it's bad, because sometimes the vines would break. We'd all get a good laugh out of that. Here's that sign we talked about. So it says Piedmont Loop to the right, and then the river overlook to the left. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go left to check that out first. I got an older sign here that says overlook. Needs a little paint on it. And right off the bat, as you go in the trail, it's wide, and I see a boardwalk up ahead, and they got some seats here. There's a little sign up here, so let's take a look at that before we get up on the boardwalk. Eco Explorer, Haw River State Park, wetland hotspot. See it, snap it, share it, observe wildlife and earn prizes and badges. So if you want to do something like that, maybe to get the kids involved, www.ecoexplorer.net. It's beautiful down here. I love this area so far. Well, stone seems out of place. I don't know if they put that there, but that's just natural. Could be. All right, let's head up onto the boardwalk. About halfway along the boardwalk now, I think. Nice breeze coming through here. It's nice and cool. You see how it's muddy beneath there. It's not as wet as I thought it was going to be, but there is some standing water. There's some underneath the boardwalk right there. And you can see it's real wet over in this area. You know, the wildlife need these wetlands. Not sure what the cone's for. I guess it's for don't step off the side, maybe. Yeah, but there's all kinds of life in there we can't even see. I can hear the birds off in the distance. I see a butterfly over there. It's beautiful down here. I think the river's not far up ahead, so we'll go on up and check that out. You can see where that old tree broke off and fell down. It doesn't look like that's any new boardwalk there, so maybe it fell without damaging it. Or maybe it doesn't look like it's that old because the bark doesn't look brown below there. We got some flowing water through this area right here. A lot of plant life and insects down in there. Yeah, a lot of people don't like little swampy lands, but I do. They're beautiful. As we continue our walk, you can hear birds and other wildlife on both sides of me here. It's just a symphony of nature. A lot of people hike with their earplugs on. I've never understood that. I mean, I want to come out here and listen to this. I hope you can hear it with my directional mic. I'm just going to stop talking for a minute. Hope you could hear that. Coming up on the end of the boardwalk now. Just passed a fella who had been out here, said he spotted a crayfish swimming along. I may try to get that recorded. Got a nice place to sit out here. Water's flowing good. I actually thought the Haw River would be bigger through this section. Water's flowing good. Get your little kayak out and take on off down the river there. Gotta watch out for them strainers though. Log fell across the creek there, river. I don't know where the headwaters of the Haw are. They might be nearby, not too far away. I don't know. I need to check on that. I'm sure it gets bigger as it moves on toward the coast. So I downloaded the app the other day to learn mushrooms, and I'm using it now. Those going out of that log are some type of polypore, I believe. And then that one above it that's white, I'm not sure. You can see some more white ones off of that log over there, maybe called thin-walled polypore. So anybody knows about mushrooms, comment below and correct me. I know I'm probably not going to get them right, but if I see some, I want to film them. Start trying to learn which ones I can eat and not eat and that type of thing. Go over here and see if we can see that crayfish. It's muddy in this area. He probably likes it. Need to watch our trash. I see that's a plastic cup in the mud over there. This park's been clean. They've done a good job, but you know, as I walk along a lot of these trails, I see people throw their trash down all the time, and there's no sense in that. All right, I'm gonna look around a little bit longer and see if I can find him, and then we'll head on back and finish the rest of the trail. If you look through the brush there, you can see another example of litter, 2 cans somebody tossed in there. I guess they could have come down with the river when it flooded, but I doubt it. Somebody probably just throwed it from this walkway I'm sitting on right now. All right, one last look at the Haw River before we turn around and go back. Back on the walkway here. You can see they got benches for you to sit along the way. I did that for a while. I sat there and just listened to the wildlife. I definitely recommend coming down through this wetland area. I've really enjoyed it. But we've got to get back now, hike the rest of the Piedmont Loop Trail. Hope you can hear that bunch of birds. I can't see them down in the brush. Now I know why it's called a bird trail. You can just hear the different sounds. They must be up in the trees and down low. There's a bird up there. I believe it's a cardinal. I don't know if I can zoom in on him for you to see though. Where's he at? It's another limb. Yeah. He's sitting there. I don't think I can get zoomed in enough for you to see him. Cardinal. I should have brought my binoculars. As you leave the walkway, the trail, you can go back to the right. That's the way we came in. It goes back up to the lodge, but just keep going straight across this bridge and you'll continue on the Piedmont Loop Trail. Right here on the bridge it says Piedmont Legacy Trails. This trail is part of a regional network of trails. For more information and to find other trails, visit www.piedmonttrails.org. So there's some good information for you there. As you come off the bridge, there's another sitting area where they give classes, I imagine, as you walk this trail. So the signage is real good. I mean, if it wasn't here, somebody might just keep walking straight up this little cart path. So they got it where it turns right there if you're coming from the other direction and turn left here. But it's a well-worn trail, so you shouldn't miss it. And this is beautiful through here, these grasses, and a good example of all the vines I was talking to you about earlier. Just growing in all different directions. Got a nice cool breeze coming through here today. Leaves are out, so it's shaded. You know my other hikes. I did Day Nicholas Park the other day. Well, not the other day, but maybe a week ago. And the trees hadn't filled out yet, and the sun was shining through, and it was a little warm. But they're in bloom now, most of them. They're filling out good. They're not all the way there yet, but they're getting there. And this is a nice shady walk now. Laying at the base of this tree is an example of walk doggiest dumbassiest. Yeah. Put here by a form of human who cares nothing about others. Just took their dog shit, put it in the dog bag, and then just left the dog bag there. I mean, come on, people. Goddamn. If you're going to leave the shit, at least take it out of the bag so it can rot away. Nope, I'm going to leave it here for old Ranger to pick up. Yep. Dog walkiest dumbasses. A species of human. Alright. Little trash rant. We're climbing up now. There's the wetlands down there we were in earlier. It's been a great hike so far. And I'm not even halfway around. I've been seeing numbers here and there. This one's on a tree, says number 4. I can only imagine maybe it's goes along with a brochure or something that tells you what kind of tree this is. I'm not sure, but if it is, they would do better to do like the other trails that I've been on, where they actually nail a little placard in that tells you about the tree and shows you the leaf, the nuts, if it has any. I like it when trails do that. I wish this one would have done it. Got some flowers growing beneath there. All little things you can do. Some of them have placards that show the plants. Like that would have been nice down there in the wetland area on that boardwalk. That would help me learn some of those plants. But there's a lot of apps you can get today. Most of them want to charge you, and you can get some free. And they're pretty good. But I think it's probably still better just to get a little pocket guide or something like that. I think we just missed them. Bunch of deer running through the woods. I can see them. I think they're still standing there, but you can't see them through the trees. I can't see them now neither. I wish it had been a little closer. Anyway, we're cutting back on this. We're doing a little switchback here. Make this grade a little easier for most people. I think as I go along, I'm going to stop and film some of the plants. And maybe some of you guys can comment below and tell me what they are, or I can go back and look at it later and maybe figure it out for myself. I know my channel's not big enough now, but as it gets bigger, maybe we'll get some comments below and we can teach each other. This area I'm walking through now has a lot of new growth. So I imagined it wasn't too long ago that this was an open field. And this is nature taking it back. It's got that new growth in there, and then a little older section, it looks like, in the middle over there. Going through some pine trees now. Got the pine needles on the trail. Just bought a bunch of pine needles to put around my house. Man, those things are getting expensive. I think it was like $4.50 at Lowe's, and bells are small. I remember you used to buy them, you couldn't hardly pick one up, and now you can pick two of them up with one hand just about. They're so small. But they did the job. So, like I say, if you're coming from opposite of what I'm doing, they have a sign here to show you to turn in between those pine trees. Yeah, this part of the field's still open, but you can see to the left, I was talking about that new growth. So I imagine that field went all out through there. There's a little shed up there. And off in the distance is a sign that says trail. So across the field and go find it, because you could easily turn right if you wasn't paying attention and go down the road again. And yeah, I see it cuts in the woods right there. So I'm here at the sign getting ready to go back in the woods, but I just noticed up there, you can see they got another area for a group to gather. Got a fire pit. I imagine they give outdoor lessons there as well. This is a great little park. I'm glad to see that this park has some pretty good sized oak trees left in it. Most of our forests these days are all new growth and hardly any of the big trees are left. I just passed another hiker coming opposite direction. He said he saw a bunch of deer up here too. So hopefully I'll be ready and maybe I can see them before they run off and I can turn my camera on long enough to get them for you. Deer got it made in here. Nobody can hunt them, as far as I know. The area where I live on High Rock Lake, we got a patch of woods there around the lake. It's undeveloped. Deer all up in there. And they live good up in there. But a developer bought it all and turned it into a golf course. I know a lot of you guys probably, and girls, like golf, but man, those golf courses just take all the land and make it unusable for wildlife. That's the one thing I don't like about it. So I guess all those deer are going to have to cross the road and go find them another place. But this area growing, especially around Charlotte, I mean, they're getting pushed out. You just have to live in little pockets. I still have my parents' house down in Charlotte, North Carolina. And there's a little patch of woods back there and the deer are all in there. And that's the only way they got to go. I mean, it's the only place they got to go. But housing's pushing in on them and eventually they'll try to have to work their way out. It's in the city now. When I was a kid, that was all country and farmland, but now it's all city. And for them to leave that little spot, they're going to have to navigate their way between neighborhoods and roads. I mean, it's just going to be a terrible trip for them because they get spooked easy. But they'll have to do it or die out one. That's why I like these parks, and I say there needs to be more of them for us, more of them for wildlife. And those thread trails in between are important. It gives them a pathway. I mean, in the past, we'd leave our cities, we'd make a highway to go to another, through the wilderness to get to another city. Well, now it's the reverse. The animals live in little park areas and woods that haven't been cut down for farms. And then if they want to go to another area, the only thing they got is those thread trails that go in between the parks, or they kind of have to maneuver themselves up fence lines and cross fields and things like that, and jumping fences, this and that. So the more parks we got, with the more connectors between them, that's a great thing for us, because we can travel along and enjoy the wilderness. And it's a great thing for wildlife. All kinds of wildlife, deer, turtles, rabbits, whatever. Big game, fox, raccoons, out west, mountain lions. Up north a little more, bears, even here black bears. I mean, they're all over. Any place they get a place to live. And they deserve to have some land preserved for them, in my opinion. This must be a little sign they had left over from an event they had. It says, "Keep going, Group 5, you're doing great." So that's awesome that they got those type of events going here. Talking about the wildlife again, You know, people live in urban areas and sometimes cities, or even in the country, you have non-hunters complain, "Oh, so cruel what you're doing to the animals." But the truth is, without those hunters and the permit fees they pay and them needing areas to hunt, the animals would be worse off. We'd have urban development everywhere. Those people live in the cities or urban areas would build right over top of their land, and for some reason that doesn't sink into them that they're doing more damage than the hunter. So if you're against hunting, that's fine. I don't like to hunt either. I don't like to shoot animals that I don't need to eat, but most hunters do eat what they kill, and they preserve the land for the animals. And really all outdoor enthusiasts do that. Hikers do it because they want places to hike. Mountain bikers do it because they want places to ride. For off-road vehicles in New York is big, and they ride up in there. Of course, you have paddlers that want paddle trails like along the Yadkin River and even the Haw here. So yeah, having these lands is important, and the hunters are important too, even though you may find it cruel what they're doing. I just spotted the lake again off to my right as I was walking, so we don't have too much further to go. I don't know how much further it'll go up and loop back, but I think we're getting close. Got a sign there that says P. I imagine that means something to somebody, but it doesn't mean anything to me. Got a lot of deadfall through here, but you can see they came through and cut it all up, chainsaws. Yeah, that rotting brush, a lot of insects and mushrooms and things like that live off of the rotting tree limbs and logs, leaves. This tree here is already broken, getting ready to go over. If you look through the trees there, you can see a lake that was formed by this man-made dam right here. Earthen dam, it looks like. And then see the creek coming down the other side of it. The trail goes on down to the right. I don't know if it goes up by there or not. I hope it does, but we'll see. Maybe we can get a better look. The trail did come close, but I had to come off trail just a little bit to look back. You can see that earthen dam's been breached on the right where that water can flow through, I guess, once it gets so high. Just wanted to come down and show you that. And this dogwood tree here, I'm pretty sure that's a dogwood. If not, somebody will let me know, I'm sure. The trail's back up on the right, so let's get back up on the trail and keep moving. Trail in this bend has been graveled, so that's a sign that we're definitely getting closer to the main area again, I imagine. I don't know why they would have graveled it otherwise. Some more people carving their names in the tree here as the trail comes back out on the lake. See the lake straight ahead. Over to your left, there's someone sitting on a bench reading. I think I saw, yeah, there's another area where logs are circled. Where they can teach, I guess. First I thought it might have been frisbee disc golf, but I don't think so now. So yeah, we're back where we started. That was the Piedmont Loop Trail and part of the Lake Loop Trail. Stand in front of this beautiful tree here. Red, maybe a maple. That's where we started over there. Got a little sign about ticks and the birds we saw down in that wetland area. I mean, this was a great hike. The wetland area was my favorite part, so I highly recommend this trail. It's a Tuesday here, and there was just a few people here. I just saw a family pass right before I filmed this. There's 2 access points to this park. The other one takes you to the Iron Mountain Trail, I believe. That's 3.5 miles, something like that. I'm gonna look at the clock. I may go over there and film that one too, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna end it here. Hope you enjoyed this hiking tour of Piedmont Loop Trail here at the Haw River State Park. If you did, like, share, subscribe. Y'all take care.